So, I mean, living in this global world, it can be a lot of effects if one country decides to change the tariffs.
Yeah, and we're all affected. Japan might even be the most attractive market for me.
The world of trade is undergoing major changes at the moment. And for small and medium enterprises, many questions are being asked, especially when it comes to the legal parts and the economic parts. And it's more than just the headlines. It's challenges that business have. It can be investments, it can be the supply chains, and that's why we are here today with our business lawyer, Kat.
Yeah.
You have 17 years of experience actually helping business around the world.
Yeah, so what we're going to give you here is like the basics. What are tariffs? How do they affect you? And what can you do? Kind of a checklist for that.
Yes.
And it will be relevant regardless of this political chaos and what's new this week and what exact tariff rate is going on. So we're going to give you, as a startup, as a small, medium-sized business owner, or somebody looking to start an online business, what you need to know, the basic and only based on facts and business lawyer experience. No, nothing else. No showing.
No, we skip the fluff and just heading into the knowledge direct.
Yeah.
So to start with tariffs, what is it?
Yeah. So that's a cost, a tax that a country places on a product when somebody brings it into the country. And almost always it will be the importer, the one bringing it into the country, the address, the person that you're sending it to that pays that tariff. So if you are a B2C selling online to end customers, it will typically be that end customer that's expected to pay it. And that can be sensitive. And the most common type of tariff will be the ad valorem tariff, which is a percentage on the value of the product. So if I send you a jacket for $200, it will be that value. And if I say that there's a tariff on 20%, you take 200 times 20% to calculate the tariff.
Okay.
But we also have product-specific tariffs, and that can be an amount on every jacket. So every jacket you import, you have to pay $10, regardless of size, weight, quality, etc. And then we also have country-specific tariffs, which don't go to the product, but go to what country of origin the product comes from. And we have combined tariffs, which is that they have a specific percentage, but also a specific number. So every jacket you have to pay $10 plus 3% of the value, a combination. So those are the major types of tariffs. And they can also be staggered.
Okay.
Saying that the first 10 tons of copper, you pay 5% tariff. And anything above that, you pay a tariff of 25. Yep.
So, I mean, living in this global world, it can be a lot of effects if one country decides to change the tariffs, which we see now, 2025.
And we're all affected, right?
Yes.
So even if we're not an exporter, I might be a local consultant who's selling my services to a company that's selling to a company who's Google, who's exporting, etc. You know, so we're all in limelight. We have a hero product. You make a beauty product with nuts, Brazilian nuts from Brazil, and suddenly there's a 3 times tariff on those.
Yeah.
And your margins go haywire.
Yeah, it can harm your business.
Yeah, incredibly.
So let's start then with the first points we have about tariffs, which is the consequences.
Yeah.
So what happens when things are changing so much? So the first one is the increased costs.
Of course. So it's quite obvious. We'll just run this through fast.
Yes.
Increased costs, higher tariffs, also delays in the system.
Yes, affects direct. The number 2 is supply chain disruption.
Yeah. So again, even if you're not that exporter or that importer, what happens right now is that there are incredible delays in the system because there's more requirements for documentation, more holdups in custom. So even if you feel like I'm not involved, but I cannot get my fabric on time, right? So.
Whoa. And the third one is compliance burden.
Yeah. And with this focus on tariffs and also different variations or exemptions, trade agreements, etc., there is also an increased requirement for documentation. And a lot of small, medium-sized businesses or startups do underestimate the work it requires. So do look into it, because the authorities have many, for free, services that will help you understand not only what tariff, what product, but also what documentation you need. And we can drop some links down below, both in relation to the US and in relation to EU.
That's really good. The fourth one is export challenges.
Well, that's also rather obvious. So it can be tough to export, not only, again, if you're directly hit on tariff, because that can ruin your competitive edge, but also just because of the uncertainty. Because the global markets and investors hate uncertainty.
Yes, you want to plan for your business. And then we have the fifth one, which is the competitive disadvantages.
Yeah, so that's the summary of what we said, really. Since we're all part of the global chain, it can be incredibly harmful to any and all of us. Again, rather exporting hero product, importing other kind of trade barriers going up as a retaliation, etc.
Yes, so you need to be flexible nowadays due to the changes. So let's move on then. How do we navigate in this world? The first one is know your HS code.
Yeah.
And that means?
Well, how do we know what tariff we pay?
Yeah.
So, do all countries have the same codes? And the baseline is yes. Almost all relevant countries use what's called harmonized systems. So that's a huge complex classification system where the products are in categories, subcategories, specific definitions. So learn what category is actually correct for your product. And it's very detailed. Again, check the links below, because, for instance, EU has access to market where you can fill in the information and what country going to what country. And that will help you immensely understand.
That's really good. There's help online to use. Good. And the next one is use trade agreements.
So what are trade agreements?
What is it?
Those are agreements between countries where you want to facilitate trade. So let's say that I'm in the EU, I'm in Germany, I'm looking to export to Japan. I'm looking to export, what should we say? Silk shirts.
Yes, silk shirts.
Yes. And I source them from China, but never mind that. The substantial transformation, the sign takes place in Germany. I want to sell them. And I look at the tariff system and I go, whoa. Japan has a huge tariff on silk jackets for women. Not going there, impossible. But if I'm aware, the EU and Japan actually have a beautiful trade agreement, which means that Japan has removed or significantly lowered the tariffs on 90 and going for 97% on the product.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, and they've done other things like accommodating protection for intellectual property, might be design you want to play. And they made it easier for EU companies to also bid on procurement for public contracts in Japan. So suddenly, if I'm aware of that trade agreement, Japan might even be the most attractive market for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know about that.
Can be black or white, even. It can be wow. So trade agreements are good.
Really good. And then we have the third one is work with custom brokers.
Do get help when needed. So it can be really trouble, both getting your product out of a country and into a country. So I'm just saying there are amazing custom brokers who know what they're doing and can really, really make your life easier.
That's really good to know. Number 4 then, factor tariffs into pricing. And what do you mean by that?
Have that margin. Like think, can you do a buffer? If you can. If you import and you have that hero product, let's say I'm in Germany now again, and I need a silk fabric from China. What do? Then I need to try as far as possible to bulk that in. So when I sell it to Japan, I'm good. Let's say that there's a tariff from China to Germany. So try to work it in and have your margins when possible.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which is number 5, diversify supply chain.
And here, again, you might think, well, the trade war will be over soon. Why am I listening to this? Because, yeah, sure. But let's look back. Because then we had COVID.
Yep.
Supply chain disruption, right? We have the war in Ukraine. Supply chain disruption, right? We had natural catastrophes. Supply chain disruption, right? So, looking back, what we do know is that black swans, things that we cannot plan for, will happen.
Yes, you never know.
No. So can you review your supply chain and see what options do you have, not if, but when something happens.
So be prepared.
Yeah, and learn from history. Look at how you survived, somebody else survived during COVID, etc. So information based on historic learnings will help you going forward.
That's really good. And now you have 5 steps how to navigate as well. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that we need to think of regarding tariffs?
We have a specific episode on tariff engineering, my favorite.
Yeah.
So that will be a look at that. And then we'll have a checklist episode, which focuses on global trade generally and what you can do. So we'll walk you through a checklist. So that can be it.
Really good.
Yeah.
We cover most of the things here.
Yeah. And if we missed anything, drop your comments down below. We're happy to tackle it in more detail.
Definitely. And we're here to educate you. Keep educating yourself. And we have a business lawyer here at 0 cost. So ask all your questions that you have.
Yeah.
And until next time, do not forget to like, subscribe to our channel. Be the smartest one in the room. And we have good episodes about negotiating as well, which could be very useful for you when in the business world.
And this is not legal advice.
It's knowledge sharing,
only.
Of course. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hej då.
Hej då.